everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder Lair video. So, I've been thinking about those videos that Taking 20 did a few weeks ago, and I think I figured out how to fix the issue he's talking about. So let's get started. Hold up. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm going to go on a little rant here about why I think critical failures should matter on weapon attack rolls in Pathfinder 2e. So let's take two characters. We have a fighter and we have a wizard. Okay? Two iconic characters. Alright? Been around since D&D first started. Okay. Let's look at the damage output of these two characters. First we have the fighter. The fighter, let's give the fighter a longsword. Okay? And let's give him an 18 strength just because he wants to be able to swing that sword around. The maximum damage output that a fighter can do for two actions is 24 damage. With a longsword. With just a longsword. Now, let's look at the spell Shocking Grasp. Takes two actions, right? Exact same amount of damage. And yes, I'm not forgetting about the persistent damage. However, that doesn't change the facts. That doesn't change my point. My point is, a fighter can do that same amount of damage every round. Regardless. Wizard, not so much. Wizard can only do that a maximum of 3 times. Or a maximum of 2 times at level 1, actually. And that's if he repairs it twice. And I can hear people saying that, oh, but fighters are always going to do more damage output at first level. That's true of any system. Okay. I respect that. Yes. That's true of any system. It's true. But, now let's look at Fireball. An iconic wizard spell. By the time a wizard can cast Fireball, a fighter should have a striking rune on his weapon. Let's look at that same fighter. A fighter with a longsword can do 36 damage if he hits with all 3 attacks. Now let's look at Fireball. A Fireball, non-heightened, does 3d6 damage. That's the same maximum damage that a fighter has. Granted, it only takes 2 actions and it hits multiple targets, but that's not the issue. The issue is, a wizard can only do that once. A fighter can do that. A fighter can do that same amount of damage to a single target as much as he wants. The wizard has to really decide whether or not a fireball is worth it or not in this system. The reason that the spellcasting system in Pathfinder 1e was so good was because a wizard could do more damage at high levels to multiple targets than a fighter could ever do to a single target in a round. But that's not the case in Pathfinder 2e. In Pathfinder 2e, a fighter can do the same amount of damage that a wizard can every round, whereas a wizard can't. A wizard is limited. A fighter is not. I know they were trying to make it more fair, but in doing so, they actually made it less fair. Fighter, not limited. Wizard, limited. See the problem? But it should be better at high levels, right? Wrong. Let's look at an 8th level. Let's look at level 15. Let's look at Polar Ray and a fighter with a greater striking rune, because he just have one at this point. Polar Ray does 10d8 damage and drain 2. A fighter with a greater striking rune can deal 9d8 points of damage in a round. Whereas a wizard, I mean, yes, it ends up being more damage because of the drained, but still. If a fighter fails, he can just keep going. He can just keep going as much as he wants. But if a wizard fails on a spell attack roll, he just wasted a spell. Again, see the problem? It's completely unfair and makes me not want to play spellcasters, to be honest with you. Simply because I can do the exact same amount of damage with a fighter. Yeah. And I've got another reason for you. If critical failures matter on weapon attack rolls, then it makes the game more interesting. Don't believe me? Ask yourself. What's your reasoning for going for third attacks? What's your reasoning for that? If the answer is, oh, there's no penalty for missing, and I might hit, so why not? You are proving my point. Yes, you are proving my point. If critical failures matter on weapon attack rolls, then people aren't going to go for their third attacks because it just isn't worth it. If bad things happen if you critically miss on a weapon attack roll, I've seen this time and time again. People don't go for third attacks. They just do other things. Like, for example, recall knowledge, raise a shield, move. They're more strategic when crit fails matter on weapon attack rolls. Alright guys, that's my little rant. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like this video and subscribe for more Pathfinder 2nd Edition content. Also, be sure to check out my Discord and my Twitter feed. You can also check out my Facebook page as well. So until next time, let's play some Pathfinder. 1, 2, 3.